Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today is a new day. This is officially qualifying day. We get an hour and I think like 20 minutes of practice this morning. I'm expecting maybe 2 laps if I'm lucky. And then we go straight into qualifying. I've worked really, really hard for this, and I hope we can make it all come together so that we can qualify and get into the main event tomorrow. So, I guess we'll find out at the end of this video. I'm out of the burnout box now, guys. All right. My hydro needs to be bled really bad. There's tons of air in it again. All right, here we go. Again. My hydro needs bleeding and my brakes are still doing the same thing. I baked those tires too much on the first run. I was out. Here we go. Last few laps have been really, really good. We've only gotten 3. They've already said that we can't go out anymore, which sucks. But what we are pretty much doing from here is trying to just dial in the laps and so that I can get a very high qualifying run. I think right now what we're doing, like we should be okay. It's just I really want to try and perfect it. If we can go lock to lock and make it as fluid as possible, that would be amazing. Not touching the e-brake, not doing long clutch ins or pauses and stuff. Like, this particular track requires a lot of throttle commitment to get it right. And I think we're like just there. So look, we want to be in the race tomorrow, so I need to not focus on being 100%. But if we can be 90 or 80, I think that'll be enough. Getting ready to head out for qualifying. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. I am so nervous, but we've worked hard for this, so I'm gonna go go, give it my all.
Sam Lucas with Team SAMMIT and B forward, S15 Silvia, full fiery livery. Coming in with good speed, nice throttle. Good zone 1, loses a lot of angle, I think in zone 2, but touches it and touches the clip. Coming in zone 3, takes the whole zone.
Let's go, baby.
What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, coming through, entering into zone 1, it's nice and deep. Transition was a little soon, coming into zone 2. Inner clip is a little bit back. Is pretty deep in zone 3. Lift but braked a little bit to stay in the zone.
Yeah, I saw the brakes there. He did lose speed, but he stayed in the zone.
So what do you guys think about his new livery this year?
And it's a 65.
Do you like the new color or do you like the old color better?
A few moments later.
信じろ。わかります。
Believe だ、believe。
I believe. I believe.
分かった。
わかります。ありがとうございます。
あとどのぐらい時間？
あともう多分30分、30、40分ぐらい。
分かった。
ありがとうございます。失礼します。
リラックスとこ。
リラックスよ。
OK。
ありがとうございます。失礼します。
いいよ。
In the meantime, Sam Lucas of Team SAMMIT with B forward, S15 Silvia with fiery livery coming from a 65. He is going to have to give it his all or go home.
He's off to a great start. Nice and deep into zone 1. Good transition to zone 2.
He has straightened right after the clip. Very good on zone 1 and zone 2. Here he tries to find the right angle but misses it, and
I think just coming out of zone 2 he had a little too much angle.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't fix it from there.
That's 0 for Sam, and Team SAMMIT and B forward go home early.
Hopefully, we never have to do another one of these again. That's at least what I'm hoping for. But it's going to happen at some point.
It's going to happen. We have to debrief every time.
Every time. That was the most upset I have ever been about not qualifying.
I mean,
hardest I've ever worked, I think, for any FD round. But winners focus on what they made happen losers focus on what happened to them. That's a quote that like keeps
Coming back to you?
coming back to me at the moment. I think, okay, I would rather not talk about like anything and everything that was wrong with the car, but I will just say this. We didn't have time to set up the car. Our shakedown was the FD event. Not ideal whatsoever. We had planned to try to have the car ready a month before FD. When it comes to working with tight budgets and doing things ourselves and working with companies like sponsorships and stuff like that, usually you don't find out until last minute if like a brand or a company's coming on board and what their budgets are and stuff like that. So everything just kept getting pushed back until we got the okay and we get the funds transferred, and then it was just kind of like, boom, get everything done, which is okay. We still had scheduled about 2 weeks before FD where we were gonna be able to go and test the car and everything. Now, I wanna be very, very clear here. I think that UniClutch is a really cool product. I think it's super cool to see new clutch technology happening. It was a little bit of a gamble, and I knew this going into it, to try and adapt it to my comp car. I think that it works great. It's been proven on the street. Tons of other cars are running it. There's 500 kilowatt cars and stuff like that using it in Australia. So we know it works, but I don't think it's ever been done with the kind of slave and master combination and the bell housing that we have on this. And it's quite complicated, and it was a chance, and we couldn't get it to work.
G-force and all that, right?
Yeah, and also this power and torque.
Yeah.
So it was a chance, and I took it. It didn't work out, and it sucks, but you know, we can obviously still use UniClutches and other cars and stuff like that that have been tested and proven, and we know they work. I'm excited to see what UniClutch can do with this kind of build here in the future, and I'm sure they will like iron out any kinks or figure it all out, or maybe it was just something we did. I'm not sure. We're going to be communicating backwards and forwards, and we'll try and see what we can do. But I think what I need to do right now is with the comp car and the FD program, like there's so much riding on it, I can't afford to take a gamble or a chance. So I'm going to stick to what I know, which is, a typical clutch setup on that. Unfortunately, we have some brake issues. I put in some GoPro clips where you can hear me over the radio and the comms telling the team, hey, my hydro's still got air in it or something's wrong with it. My foot brakes also had the same problem. Later on, we realized it was a wheel bearing that had failed on probably just was already like slightly on its way out, but failed when I did a dirt drop in practice the day before. And because the wheel bearing's gone, the rotor is moving like this, right? And that's pushing against the pistons in the caliper, and that's pushing the fluid back up, which then I touch the brake pedal and the brakes go to the floor on the initial
Because it was
pump.
getting worse and worse.
It was getting worse and worse and worse. You can actually see in the GoPro footage of my qualifying runs, my left foot is just constantly pumping the brake. So I'm like in my head, like pump the brake, pump the brake, pump the brake, and thinking about that when I need to be concentrating on driving. So I was driving around all these issues, but still, I think I should have been able to qualify with those problems, and we would have been able to fix the wheel bearing the next day and stuff like that and been able to compete.
That's what I thought after like this round is like, no matter how much time or no matter how much time you don't have before the qualifying, like I felt like there's a way that teams can think of so that you can qualify. You have to be a little strategic. You can't just expect a driver to like 100% nail that 2 runs. There's so many other things that the teams can do with the cards that we have at that moment. Even though the car might not be perfect, there are things that you can do, I think,
to drive around it.
To drive around it and then work with the driver so that you can qualify.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was really scary coming into turn 2, like 200 k's an hour and not having a brake pedal. But it was still drivable.
You could have gone into the e-brake, e-brake.
Well, the e-brake went down to the thing too. It was like across the board. It was bad, man.
Yeah,
but like,
then we
it was still drivable.
Yeah, if you just slowed down, right?
Yeah.
You didn't go that fast.
Yeah.
You slowed down, then you could have made it. So
Maybe.
like, there's just things that we are learning across every single step that we take with this Formula Drift endeavors. It's just
one thing I didn't know as well is Fuji is a lot of drivers said that it is the hardest layout in FD Japan, which blows my mind because I look at like Okayama, Okubuki, and I think the next round we're going to is the most frustrating layout because
It's tight.
it's tight and it doesn't flow whatsoever, and we have to do this weird straight line drift, which is just stupid. But you know what? It's the layout the judges want us to do, so we got to do it. It's
Hey, at least it's
twin
flat.
circuit Suzuka.
At least it's
twin.
flat. There's no elevation.
Yeah, that's true. At least it's flat, and it should be easy to set up the car for.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a hard track. Falsto got P1 in qualifying, Q1 or whatever you call it. He got first place in qualifying and he was stoked. Do you know why he was stoked? Because the first 2 years that he competed at that track, he didn't qualify. It is a tough track. The layout from the bird's eye view looks simple. It's like, oh bro, it's like just come in, mungie, and one big corner and you're done. But with all the elevation that's there and how fast you come in and how the car, you lose the front end every time you come into turn 2.
You gotta hold it.
You gotta hold it and just pray. But, and putting that aside, if you remember last year, I got a 0 on my qualifying runs because I adjusted the steering wheel straight for a second and went back while I was trying to feel for the front end when we understeered and couldn't feel the front end. So this year I was like, oh, I'm gonna just hold the steering wheel and you know, tell my mind over my hands, you know, and just stay turned, right? Because I don't want a 0. But then this year, I'm seeing everyone doing runs and getting points when they're doing the same thing I did last year, and I'm just like, what's happening? I'm so confused, but I don't know, maybe the judges changed their mind, I don't know. But it was just frustrating, I felt, and I think the judges warm up to like the first 20 drivers or so. It takes a while before they kind of like reach that equilibrium, and then they like, oh, okay, everyone's around here, and they start scoring people like that. The basin kind of raises a bit after they warm up a bit, right? So I think we got a little dogged, but that's not an excuse. I think it's just like part of the sport, and you got to drive better. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
But the progression's there.
Progression is there. I think we're getting to a point, like I said before, where it's not just about your effort. It's about the team's effort and how much we communicate as a team, and like we don't put all the decision making on you. Yeah. I think there's a lot of things we can do as a team.
This was probably the first round where I made the least amount of decisions. And it was good. Having Mesmer there as who was helping us out. Mesmer couldn't make the round. He's supposed to be a competitor, but his car is still being built and he couldn't make it, so he decided to join my team for the Fuji weekend, and he helped out immensely. It was so good to have him as a spotter and also just help with a bunch of car setup stuff. But ultimately, I think the number one reason why we weren't able to qualify was because of not being able to have time to set up the car, do a proper shakedown, know what we were getting into, and for me to get a bit of seat time in the car. The car drives like a new car. It's an entirely new car. How this thing puts down torque now is ridiculous. It's like jumping in, I'm trying to think of what it feels like, but it's like jumping in my comp car for the first time all over again when I went from like a 400 horsepower SR. This thing lights up the tires like it is no one's business. Like I could just breathe on the pedal and it spins the wheels. And when I flash off and stuff coming out of corners and stuff, I like instinctively give it like just full throttle, but I can't do that anymore. I have to give it just like a quarter throttle because this thing makes so much more torque and power now.
So your, what do you call this? Like reaction?
Muscle memory and stuff like that, needs to just adapt a bit better.
Yeah.
And
when we got the sim, so it's
the sim helps for that. Yeah, the sim is actually that was the thing I noticed was like how similar my comp car now feels to the sim, because the sim always felt like the throttle was too touchy, but now it's kind of like perfect. Yeah. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, all in all, I think it ultimately came down to not getting any seat time in the car to learn the new car because of all the delays that happened and everything with the clutch issues and stuff. That led into us not being able to do a proper shakedown on the car. We were supposed to go to Ebisu. I was going to spend like a week there with the car, dialing in, trying a bunch of different settings. Adam was going to help me dial it in as well, and it was going to be sick. But it didn't happen ultimately, and that was just the cards we were dealt.
Yeah.
First rounds are always chaotic. Some people don't even make the first round. Yeah, sorry, Mesmer, but like some people don't even make it. There were other drivers that didn't make it in time because, the sponsorships and brands that they're working with, they were really late last minute too.
That was the case for you in the first J2, no?
Yeah, J2. The first time I competed in J2, we didn't make round 1 as well.
Yeah,
same
and then
thing.
it was Ebisu, and then you went through like
that was
three sets of axles.
Oh yeah,
like that.
And that was our shakedown. Yeah, we broke like $20,000 of axles.
Yeah, yeah. So all in all, I think it was like
good.
I don't mind going through this. Like, it's yes, obviously, if we do qualify,
It's better.
It's better,
Yeah.
but it's part of learning and just gaining experience.
Yeah. No, it's great.
But yes, I'm sorry to keep you guys hanging
Yeah,
because
I do apologize.
you're all waiting for the qualifying moment.
I know. Don't worry, guys. We'll get it. Next.
So what are you gonna
I don't want to promise next round because I hate that track so much.
Okay.
Oh, but if I qualify the next track, I will literally be so happy because I don't know if I've ever qualified there, even in J2.
Whoa, that's because your whole PDM.
Oh yeah, that's right. The first time at that track,
And you fell asleep in the line.
That's true. I didn't sleep, and I remember that round. Man, so much has happened.
Yeah.
But it'll be a huge win for me if I qualify that round. But yeah, I'm just excited because what happened after we didn't qualify, I needed about an hour and a half to just stop, getting emotional. And then I pretty much we then sat down, went over all the footage, we watched through everything, and we just were like, okay, what settings and what things would we change for the next time we're driving at Fuji? Let's take notes. And what we came up with, I think, is a really good plan. Something we really noticed by watching some of the outside footage was that we should have been running a different Ackerman setup with the front angle kit so that we could handle that corner better. Maybe we should have changed our front sway bar settings and stuff to suit that corner a little bit better. And if we had that full official practice day and the Kazuma day before it without any of those
Probably
issues
would
that we
have
had,
solved that, yeah.
we would have had the time for me, have gone out, do 2 laps, watch the footage, slow down the footage, look at how the suspension of the car was reacting, and then we would have made all those changes, gone out and done 2 laps.
But we didn't.
And then, been able to work it.
We didn't, but we actually got a clutch and we had an hour and a half to practice, and
Yeah.
you got 7 laps on the first day. I think that itself was a
No, it was a miracle. We just kept going out because I wanted to make sure I could learn like the throttle control and commitment and stuff with the new car and how it felt. So yeah, it was good. I think it was a win no matter what this round. We learned so much. We got a huge W. We were gonna have to retire. Like I literally was like, do I walk up to the office now and retire? Like, what do we do? And at like 8 p.m. at night, I called the owner of OS Gaikin on a 3-way call with May.
Nice.
And I was like,
He was so nice.
like, I'm sorry for calling you late. I know it's Golden Week coming up, and whatnot, but is there any chance that we can get a clutch from you tomorrow? And he was like,
Yes.
let me call around, let me see what we got. And he made heaven and earth move for us. And he ran at the Shinkansen station, dropped off, gave him a clutch. Like it
was amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So next round, keep an eye out for some content coming because we're going to be dialing in the car and spending at least a few days at Suzuka Twin, which is awesome because you can just go there and pay I think it's like the equivalent of $50 and drive there during the day, which is awesome. Rohab's shop is there, so we can, if we need to make any changes to the car, duck to his shop and work on stuff. It's going to be awesome. So there'll be some content coming of us setting up the car about maybe 1 to 2 weeks before the next round, and then
You're going to also have adapting experiences with different cars. You're going to be going to LZ World Tour.
Oh yeah, LZ World Tour. Guys, if you're in New Zealand, I cannot wait to meet all of you guys. Never been to New Zealand before, so I'm excited to go to New Zealand and meet all of you guys. We're gonna have a limited edition shirt for sale as well. I'm gonna be driving Guy's Laurel.
Very, very, I like this shirt.
Oh, this shirt's sick. Yeah, it's a limited edition New Zealand only shirt. You can only buy it at the event. We made a very small number of them, and it's baller. Should we put a picture on the screen? No. You'll just have to buy it when you see it because it's pretty awesome. I really wanted to put a sheep on there, but May didn't let me.
No.
You'll see.
Please.
Seriously, it's great. Anyways,
it's like a Sefiro just sinking. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, just Sefiro in a ditch wrapped around a pole now. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this little debrief. We always like to talk to you guys because we're only able to compete and do this because you're a part of the journey with us. Thank you again to all of those that decided to support us. Grab the Tomo K-Lab pack. I think it's linked down below. There's only like 2 days left for you guys to get your pre-orders on that. So don't sleep on that, and just go to SAMMIT.net and buy some other merch and things like that. Whatever
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you. The hell out of you. And there was something else I wanted to say, but I forgot. Oh, if you live in Japan and you know drifting really, really well, and you think you could be A, a really good spotter, or B, a really, really good crew chief, I'm looking for 2 people to join the team.
And kick Sam's ass.
Yeah, well, kick ass in general. But like, yeah, if you think that you fit that bill, please send me an email with your qualifications and just examples of why you think that you meet that requirement. You have to be based in Japan, and you have to be able to speak English and Japanese. Well, at least a little bit of Japanese, mainly English. But yeah, let me know. Send an email to jobs@sammit.net. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you all in
New Zealand.
the next one. In New Zealand, yeah.